I've been feeling that there's a message from Baba Yaga coming forward that she wants to speak. And so this card popped out as I was just shuffling in preparation for this video. As we just experienced a full moon, supermoon, lunar eclipse. And as we are in the energy of the autumn equinox, it is a potent time, and she is a potent being. So it's not surprising to see the moon come up. Usually it's about illusion, or at least that's the one that's coming to mind for me now. It's also about cycles. And so as a cycle begins, what illusions do we need to let go of, or to see for what they are, really? I also am feeling the octopus, the fetus. In this shape, it's like an animal that is coming to mind, but I can't think of it. I just can't think of it. And so I want to ask, I have this deck. Baba Yaga is not one that I work with very often. However, I do have this deck. This is the Story Medicine, Tarot. And it is Baba Yaga's soup. And whenever I do feel the need to work with her, this is the deck that comes out. I always feel that she's calling me into something powerful, that she's asking me to do something very big. Very intense. And it's always the time is now. The time is now, you know? It's not a thing where it's like, well, come back to this next week. It's like right now. Just do it. And so what cycle is ending? What illusions do we need to face? Well, I guess we're getting 4 cards, 2 each. What cycle is ending? What illusions do we need to face? The cycle that is ending. Excuse me, I apologize. Your birth. Ready or not, pop goes the amniotic sac. Follow your bread, you can't go back. Let's just sit with that for a second. So, let go of being in the womb anymore. You're not in the womb anymore. You're being born. Not gonna lie, this feels like a message from me. And I'm happy to share it, okay? Rebirth is the wand suit. The grandmother is the king. If that's something that is important for you to think about. Ready or not, like I said, ready or not, it's now. You're being born, like... You're being born. Pop goes the amniotic sac. It's popped. It has been popped. Let go. You're not going back. You can't just stay in the cozy womb forever. It is time to be birthed into the world. Follow your bread. You can't go back. Follow your bread. You need to follow that money, okay? Like I said, feels like for me, but it could be for you. Sure as high noon blazes, there was Baba Yaga sharpening her long pointy teeth. Phew! I've got you in my nose. Why are you here again? She screamed at me. Granny, I've come for a vision, I said with excitement. She scoffed, rolling her eyes, unimpressed. Holy shit. Listen. Why are you here again? Okay? Let go. Yeah. It's like you want to go back into that psychic womb, that vision space where you get to just sit there and like dwell in the feelings and the vibes and the visions. She's like, what are you doing here? Get the frick out of my nose. You're like a booger that just needs to get the fuck out, you know? That's the, oh God. She's gonna tell it how it is. She's gonna come at the neck. No fear involved. Okay, so that's what we need to let go of. The illusions that we need to face. I think we're starting to see it a little bit here, but let's hear a little bit more. Wise woman. Eat it now or it'll rot. And that's okay too. It's your story, but sweet or smelly, it all goes in the stew. I mean, I'm looking here at this like talking. Life is the pentacle suit. So we're looking at the king also of pentacles. And the lovers. The majors in this deck are very interesting. It's almost like, is she drinking the soup or is she spitting out the soup? Her eye is a spiral, I noticed. But yes, like back to this, this here. Yes, eat it now or it'll rot. Eat it now or it'll rot. And that's okay too. It's your story, but sweet or smelly, it all goes in the stew. So it's like, there's a few illusions that we're working with here. It's like, if you don't eat it now, it'll be fine. You know, you can always make another one. No, it's gonna rot. Illusion 1. Illusion 2. Rotting is bad. We never want anything to rot. It's horrible. No, rotting is okay. It happens. That's okay too. Eating or rotting, it goes somewhere. I mean, think about it. If you eat it, it's going to be rot in the end anyway. And that's fertilizer. But sweet or smelly, it all goes in the stew. And so whether you eat it, whether it rots, whether it's tasty, whether it's putrefied or whatever the word is, it's all going in the stew. It's all going into the stew of your life. Whatever happens, happens. But ultimately, there is something to be fed. There is something to eat here. There's something. I'm going to put this moon over here. Somewhere over here, if it stays. I want to know more about this, though. I'm a little bit confused, not going to lie. There's something about this, this illusion that I'm not getting. It's like what I just said kind of made sense, but also it didn't. So, like, what is that even about? Like, what are we even talking about here? Like, with this wise woman, it's like, the illusion is like, you're wise and everyone's gonna, like, eat it up. Everything that you say, they're just gonna eat it up. That you're just gonna love, maybe that you're just gonna love your choices or other folks are gonna love your choices. I don't know. I don't really get this, you know? It's illusory, so I guess that makes sense, but I kind of need to know more about that. Tell me more about this illusion that we need to face. What is it? I don't get it. This is unclear. Clarify it for me. Distill it for me. Synthesize it for me. Please, Baba Yaga, help me see. Help me see. Reach your full potential strength. This is the 9 of Wands. In this deck, it would be the 9 of Rebirth. Maybe we can go into our deck here and get some insights. So, I'll look in here and get it for you. Okay, I've got it here, but before I do that, I do want to just look at this card a little bit more. Okay. So, I'm just going to show it again. So what I talked about here was like this feeling of, like the first illusion being like, if you don't eat it now, if you don't take action now, if you don't receive what's being given to you now, that like you'll just get a chance. You'll get another chance. But that's That's the main illusion. And looking at her eating this and looking at this voice, it's like this is a voice thing. It feels like a voice thing to me. And it's like, use your voice now, or you're not going to get another chance like this again. That's okay. Ultimately, it's all gonna go into the stew of your life, and you're gonna get some other experience or some other opportunity to hit it from the angle of maybe loss of opportunity. But you know, if you want to do it, why not do it now? Why wait for that other thing? You know, reach your full potential. Use the strength that you have to go ahead and do the thing now. You know. Persevere through the fear. Okay, let's see what we have here. All was said, all was done. Baba Yaga sneezed with a gusto. It's the truth. Blowing mother back to the river, covered in her snot from which I came. That was that. My mother was with a spark in her belly. Soon I was born into her arms, a perfect and healthy child. Honestly, it's like an affirmation that being spit out like here, she's like, what do you hear? Get out of my nose, like you're a booger, I need to get out. And here she like, you know, she sneezes your ass out, and you're gonna be born perfectly healthy. Like, it's gonna be fine. You don't actually have to fear. Like, birth is not pleasant always. But look at what you're born from. You know, think of what womb you're coming from. You're coming from a beautiful place, and you're stepping into a place where you're going to be doing what it is that you need to do. Okay, so checking in. We are no longer in the womb. We're being born. It's time to be born. Ready or not, follow your bread. You can't go back. You're not going to get the same opportunities that you used to have, but that's okay, because you are being born into something. There's a cycle right now happening that it's ending and a new one is beginning, and you want this new one. You want it. How can you alchemize this new cycle? How can you live inside of it with the confidence that you need? As a perfect and healthy child. How can you move forward into this cycle with eyes wide open? Okay, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Apparently we're just not there yet. We're still in the death, okay? We just can't let go. For the birth of something new to manifest, the death of something holding you back is inevitable. So how can we step forward is to just accept the death, accept it. What is holding you back? Recognize what that thing is. What is holding you back? What is holding you back? I'm going to pull a couple of cards on that. Holding me back is... First, let me organize. Whatever. I think too much about that shit. Holding me back is... It's a 1, 2, 3. Holding me back is... Holding me back is... Holding me back is... child under the deck. For some of you, this is a lack of being able to play. You can't play. You can't cackle. You can't laugh. You can't just actually play in the playground of life. You feel like it's too fucking serious. You just can't. And for some of you, you play too much. You play too much. I don't know. It's like, you think this is a game? I don't know why that comes to mind. I hate that. But then again, it is. I don't know. So it's not everybody. Not everybody plays too much. That's just for, I don't know, like 2 people. But most of it's like, you can't play. You take everything too serious. It's too, everything is just like a crazy magnitude of proportions. And that's why you feel safer in the womb, because you're just like, well, it's just like, it's quiet in here, it's dark in here. I can think, I can imagine. But like, imagine for what? If you're just going to stay there, then what are you ever going to get to actually experience? Are you going to get to play with those imaginary things? Like, those imaginary things can be real, you know, they can be real, but like, you have to go out and, you know, experience them and experience the journey that it takes to experience them. Like, they're not just gonna pop into existence all the time. You have to actually go on the journey and play around and see what happens. You got to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, you know, you got to stir the pot a little bit. And the thing holding you back is change. You're too afraid to turn the goddamn page. I mean, we're just saying the same thing over and over and over again, are we not? It's like, turn the page, turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. You like don't want to know what's on the other side of the page. This is the time, though. This autumn equinox, let the cycle end. Let the page be turned. Let yourself, I mean, it's too fucking late. You are being born. Like she says here, you think it's something you can just, you know, decide on, but you can't decide. You don't decide when you're born, you know? Interestingly, you do, but it's on a very cosmic level. Like, when I think about when the baby is ready, I've never given birth, but, you know, so correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but, you know, you want the baby to be ready. You want the baby to get into position. You want things to flow naturally, right? And so there is a certain sense of like the baby sort of choosing that time, but at the same time, you know, of course that's not always the case, but when that does happen, it's like transposing that onto what we're talking about now. It's like yes, you choose it, but you choose it on a level that is different than the fears that you're experiencing, right? Like, a baby's not afraid of being born. Like, why would a baby be afraid of being born? That's what a baby does. That's what they do. And so you rest assured that, you know, on some level, you did choose for the cycle to end to happen. The cycle to end now. You did choose for this cycle to turn over right now. You did choose for your fears to be released, for yourself to persevere now. You did ask to go through this portal right now. You did. And so, turn the page and go. And I won't harp on it again, because it's here. You're in your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. There's an entire world out there, and you may say, like, oh, you feel so comfy here. You're not anymore. You're not comfortable there anymore. That's the truth here. It's like, you may say, you may act, you may be doing things as if you do want to stick around, but you don't. You feel trapped. You've outgrown the space, hence being born. You can't stay in the womb any longer. You can't. It's not for you. And I don't know, does Baba Yaga want to talk about the future right now? Or just getting you ready and really snapping you out? Snapping you. Pop. Pop. Pop goes the amniotic sac. Let this be the pop. It's over. The jig is up. It's done. All was said, all was done. All was said, all was done. She sneezed. It's the truth. Soon I was born into her arms. Be born into the arms. Be born into her arms. Be born into your own arms. Be born into the arms of your future, of your desire, of your play. Follow your bread. Follow the thing that fulfills you, the thing that you want. The only thing that keeps you alive. There's the thing that sustains you. It's your bread. It's your bread of life. What is your bread of life? Follow that. Ready or not, eat it now, or it'll rot. Don't let Baba don't let her ask you again. Why are you here again? Don't be here again. Alright? Okay. Bet. That's it. That's the message. Goodbye.